you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I'm your host, Dr. Angela Butts-Chester. You guys know who I am, and you know what I'd like to do on my show. Say it with me. I want to enlighten, inspire, and empower you to become your best self. Now, scripture reminds us that the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And that's what we want to do today. We want to get you fired up not only about R.I.S.E Symposium 2026, but also about our guest. I'll be spending time today with Julie DeAnne, and I cannot wait to talk to her. So you know what I'm going to tell you to do. Go on, get your coffee or get your tea, because we are about to get started. Hello, Julie. Thank you so much for joining me here on Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
Hello, Dr. Angela. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, I love what you are doing. So I cannot wait to talk to you a little bit more about that. Now, before we get started, I realize that I might be introducing you to some new people. So, with that being said, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. I would love to. I am an Illumination guide. And what that means is I'm here to help others connect within so we can all shine our light, so we can live better lives and thrive, because we're not just here to survive. We're actually here to have fun and thrive. And the way that I do that is through speaking, life coaching. I've written a children's book, Which Would You Choose, that teaches how to choose better thoughts, and a lot of adults love it too. And even written a song and produced it called Choices. I just released that earlier this year. Everything that I do is with the mission of just helping us to understand that when you connect within, you can change the world. You have to go within to create without.
I love it. Yes, you guys, now you see why she is a part of RISE. Speaking of RISE, it stands for the Renewed in Spirit and Empowered Symposium. It returns for 2026 with a powerful and timely theme, rooted in truth, rising in authority. This year's symposium is designed for women and people of faith, leaders, creatives, and visual carriers who are no longer searching for their voice, but are ready to stand firmly in it. So, Rise 2026 is not about becoming someone new, it is about embodying what has already been formed. And I think Julie is one of the perfect people to help us rise. Julie, Rise this year centers around the theme of rooted in truth, rising in authority. When you think about the work that you do with children, how important is that for young people to learn and to learn to trust their inner voice as well?
Dr. Angela, it really goes to the heart of what it means to be able to live as your authentic self and in your human journey. And what I mean by that is helping children understand that you have a voice, you matter, and what you think matters. And yes, there are authority figures around you, and you need to listen to them, but don't ever let that eclipse your own inner knowing, right? When you connect within to your heart, you have an understanding. And children, I always say this, children are our best teachers. I mean, I'll be honest, I never thought I would have kids because I was born with a heart defect and I was told it could be dangerous, so I never planned. But when I had my daughter, and it was almost 15 years ago now when she was born, when I found out, I was shocked at how surprisingly happy I was. And she has been one of the, she is, as I always say, my greatest creation and always will be. But I have learned more from her, and I guarantee you, I know for a fact I would not have found my purpose had I not had her. And there were things that she said as a child that stopped me in my tracks. So children understanding that, yes, you must learn from authorities, and you must, to an extent, be responsible and obedient, but you also have your own voice and you have to honor that voice. And empowering them to understand this and to listen to their own intuition, their own inner guidance, and be able to navigate the emotional turmoil and all of the things that come to them in the external world, and yet still remain true to that inner voice. That, I believe, is the greatest skill, the greatest thing that we can teach our children.
Agreed. I can just picture all of our moms out there nodding their heads, saying, "Oh my goodness, yes, our children are truly our greatest creations." And each one of them have their own little divine spark, right? And I have to remind everyone, we are the gardeners, and we have to make sure we take care of our little seeds, that they get to sprout and grow into the best possible version of themselves, right? That we can
Absolutely.
possibly help them to be. And I love that she encourages you as you encourage her to be her best self as well. I love that. Now, you are a certified dream builder life transformation coach. What drew you to this work, and how does it connect to the larger mission of helping children develop emotionally and spiritually?
I think the biggest thing that drew me to the Dream Builder coaching and Mary Morrissey, as opposed to all these other coaching programs out there, which I did join several and I didn't finish several as well. But each one, these are stepping stones, right? So each thing that you do in life, it's not a failure, it's feedback. We are growing, and
Mhm.
we're designed to do that. And that's one of the things that Mary Morrissey's program, the Dream Builder coaching, teaches. I think that the most important thing for us to realize is it is a journey, and there's not one thing that is going to solve everything.
Mhm.
Yet, as we take these steps and we learn to let go of the illusions and push through the fear, and then also understand how our emotional intelligence is equally important to our IQ, our in intellectual intelligence. So the
Mhm.
EQ is your emotional intelligence. We have to understand that, right? As humans, that it's the mind body feedback loop. It works together. It's not all in your head. You can't do that. You have to also learn how to listen to your body, and you can only do that by feeling those emotions, but then learning how to express them in a healthy way, which goes back to why it's so important to work with children, so that, that instead of having tantrums and acting out, right, or suppressing them, which is equally bad, we learn how to express these emotions in healthy ways. And then we also understand, as we express them, that informs our minds so that we can start to make better choices. Because really,
Mhm.
emotions are energy in motion. That's E plus motion. So
Mhm.
when we express it, we let it flow through the body. And then, this is why, again, dancing, singing, playing sports, going outside, just being able to be free, especially as kids, right? Being able to run free and express yourself. That's why it's so
Mhm.
important, because the emotions in our body are are high energy that needs to be expressed, and those are safe ways to get that energy out. And then once it's out,
Absolutely.
then you can get back in your head and you can think about, when, like, for a kid, for example, if they had a fight with their sibling or a friend, or something was annoying them, and they go run around the yard real fast and just yell and whatever, and then they come back and they say, okay, I'm going to go talk to mommy and daddy about this, or I'm going to talk to my friend and offer a, let's do this, let's share. I mean, it's that sort of thing. And we as adults, we have to learn how to do this as well, because if you don't learn it when you're a kid, well, either you got to learn it when you get older or you're never going to learn it. And that's where all these problems come from. Right.
I could not agree with you more. And boy, could we extend that conversation to adults and ladies. We need to get out there and move our bodies as well.
Mm.
There's a theory about that and the connection to menopause and all that good stuff. So absolutely. But that's a conversation for a different day, for a different event.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, you are definitely on to something. Well, Julie, it is time for us to take a very short break. But before we do, for those that want to connect to you online or perhaps on socials, what's the best way to do that?
The best way is my probably Facebook page, which is simply my name. It's Julie Dann. And I also have a website. It's juliedeannauthor.com. So juliedann.author.com.
I love it. Alrighty, everyone, you know where you can take a visit. And of course, her books are available on Amazon and wherever books are sold. We'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela, and welcome to Rise 2026. Julie, I want to ask you about the mindfulness that you bring. You have brought mindfulness practices into classrooms. You have talked about it in your TED Talks. You share it on your website and in the things that you post about. What changes have you observed in children when they are given the language as well as the tools to understand what their feelings are about and how they're able to calm their minds?
It is amazing how, once empowered to take some of these practices, like the deep breathing, like positive statements that they can revert to when they're in an anxious moment or a moment where they're starting to get upset. It is amazing how these simple but powerful tools completely turn the situation around. I mean,
Mhm.
children who were at one time cowering under the teacher's desk because they were afraid because another child was acting out, right? Now, instead, they're sitting at their desk and they're just doing some deep breathing. They're doing things like anchors, pressing the fingers together, or maybe they press their toes into the ground. That's an anchor. It just allows you to
Mhm.
be in the body and to, again, channel that energy into a calm, centered point. And then the children that, might have acted out before, now instead they're going to what you might call like a connect corner or a
Mhm.
time within place where they can just extract themselves from whatever is bothering them. They can just be alone for a moment and do that
Mhm.
breathing and again revert back to whatever statement that they chose is their power statement, as I like to call it.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, I love that. There have been more and more people who are understanding how important it is to start with our children. So I love that we are learning as adults and teaching the next generation so that they don't have to perhaps have all of the bumps and bruises that prior generations have had. So I love that you're doing that. Now, as I mentioned before, you've spoken on a TED Talk stage, sharing ideas that can influence a global audience. What message about childhood emotional health do you think that adults really need to understand? Now, of course, if someone wants to listen to that TED Talk, they can take the time and listen to it in its entirety. I don't expect for you to, re-articulate that. But what are some points that you really wanted to hit home from that TED Talk for the adults to pick up?
The theme of the TED Talk, even though I titled it the number one tool every school needs to teach and every child needs to know, but the actual theme is when we take a time within, everyone wins.
Yeah.
And the point of the talk is that just teaching children simple skills like how to breathe deeply and then exhale for longer than you inhale, because that is what it's
Mhm.
that longer exhalation sends the signal to the brain that you're safe. And so immediately it starts to calm within just a few breaths. You could try it now. I mean, your audience can try it now. Just sit there and breathe in deeply through the nose for like a count of 5, and then exhale for 7 to 8 counts through the mouth. And just do that 3 to 5 times, and you will notice your body starts to calm down. Your mind starts to get quiet because that's the body's way of signaling to the mind that you're safe. And so it takes you out of that fight or flight sympathetic nervous system, puts you into the parasympathetic, the rest, digest, create. And once you do that, it gives you the space and the clarity that you can actually choose a better thought. And so I always say the second key there is gratitude. Immediately start expressing gratitude for that moment. Start expressing gratitude for whatever you can put your thought on, because gratitude is the highest frequency that is synonymous with receivership, with love, with everything that will start to move you in a more positive direction.
Mhm, mhm. I could just imagine someone just tried it as you suggested, and they said, "Oh my goodness, I feel so much better." Absolutely. It's almost instant. If we think about
Yeah.
conversations when you get all worked up, people will say, "Breathe." But right, it's like I've been breathing all my life. What are you talking about? But here with this example, and again, someone's going to try it right now and it's like, yeah, you feel better, don't you? Absolutely. So, if nothing else, you've just learned a very simple and easy way to get yourself back to center. If we can learn something as simple as a breathing technique, tuck that away in your pocket and share it with someone the next time they are a little off center and explain to them what you mean by breathe. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love it. Now, for women who are raising the next generation while also pursuing their own calling, so many times we feel torn that we have to choose. Women get asked this question a lot: how do you keep everything in balance? Now, what I want to ask you instead is, what can we do to encourage both women and girls to nurture about themselves to help make sure that their dreams remain their own?
You just touched on my bread and butter. I mean, balance. Balance is the key, right? Because everything is about balance. I mean, if you think about it, everything.
Mhm.
You can't go one too far one way or the other. It's always about balance. Even we have lessons we can learn from the shadow, from the darkness, from even evil things. There are lessons we can
Yeah,
learn, right? Just as well
yeah,
as all the good stuff. And you can't have it all good all the time. We know this. So
right.
we have to learn how to balance. So for the kids that are growing up, and again, your emotions are so powerful, but they are not evil. It's not about ignoring, suppressing, or getting over it, or just forget about it. No, 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 no. Your emotions are your body's intelligence. It's your body's
Hmm.
language, and it's up to you. It's your job to learn how to read that, and to balance your emotional intelligence with your intellectual intelligence. That's how we reach that balance. You think a thought, you feel a feeling, and then you think, okay, what's that feeling telling me, right?
Hmm.
And is it legitimate? Maybe I need to change the way I'm thinking, change my perspective, and I'll feel different. I'll feel better. Now I know that my train of thought, the way that I'm thinking now, is moving in a better direction, a more empowering direction, because now I'm feeling better. And it's not
Hmm.
that your thoughts are always right or wrong, or that the body feelings are always right or wrong. It's just, as an individual, it's your perspective, it's how you're thinking about it, and your body is just telling you, okay, does this make me feel good or feel bad? And do you want to feel bad? No? Okay, well then let's start changing that thinking so you can feel better. But
Hmm.
honoring that, honoring this journey, and honoring the fact that it is a balance, and there's no one way to do it. And that's liberating, really. It's not something to be afraid of. It's a very freeing idea that you do get to choose. You get to actually create your own path through life.
Mhm. Mhm. I want to touch on and give you time to expound your answer if you would like. You talk about how life is a journey, and I feel far too often people are trying to make it a dash, like they're trying to
Mm.
make it a sprint, right? But this is a journey. This isn't, you're not going to get to the end of your life tomorrow. Like, you don't need to do every single thing today. You have time to learn, to assess, to remove and to gather, like all of the words that we could think of, right? To pick up and
Mhm.
put down. We have the time because life is a journey. While we need to be mindful of time and that we never know how much time we are going to be blessed with upon this earth, but we do need to understand that it's a journey. With that being said, what are some ways that you help your client base understand how to stay rooted in their truth, how to stay rooted in confidence, or to perhaps regain their confidence if they've lost it? Now, of course, I don't expect for you to give it all away. As I say when I'm interviewing authors, if you want to know how the story ends, you gotta buy the book.
There
Now,
you
if
go.
you want to know the fullness of what she provides, you need to visit her website and select the package for you, the program that's going to work for you.
Right.
But in that, how do we help? How do you help teach your client base how to stay rooted in their truth and live in their confidence?
Okay, so I would say that the top tool, now I coach this, I got a whole 14-week program about this, but
Ooh,
the top
mm-hmm,
tool that anybody can do right now that will both help you feel more grounded and centered and whole and complete in your body and boost your confidence is literally gratitude.
oh yeah,
Writing down a list of things that you are grateful for. And yes, I'm talking about a gratitude journal, but I'm not talking about in the sense of, anybody who's out there rolling your eyes, please just pause a second and have an open mind. And that is also one of the top key things to any sort of growth, right? You have to have an open mind. Being grateful is, it does more, it's a frequency.
yeah,
So you'll know, and you probably know this, Dr. Angela. I'm sure you've done this. When you start
mm-hmm,
putting pen to paper, you're literally
mm-hmm,
taking that thought out of your head and putting it down on paper, which creates the first tangible piece of evidence of that thought. So you've just taken that thought energy, now you've put it out into the world. And because it's physical, you can look at it, you can reflect it
mm-hmm,
back to yourself. So it amplifies it, right? And when you start to write down and something like this, right? You want to say, I am so happy and grateful now that, or I am so happy and grateful, and put it in the present tense because you're happy right now. It doesn't matter if it happened in the past or you're hoping it's going to happen in the future. Say it
mm-hmm,
right now in the present moment and feel that gratitude because that shifts everything. It shrinks time. It magnifies what you're feeling. It also brings it to you faster, right? If it's something you
mm-hmm,
want in the future, for example, I am so happy and grateful now that my daughter has successfully graduated high school with excellent grades and is going to the school of her dreams and getting a scholarship or whatever that she's applied for, right? That it's all worked
mm-hmm,
out. I just
mm-hmm.
said that in the present tense. She's got years before she graduates, but I'm putting that thought out there now. I'm
Mm-hmm,
feeling gratitude for it now. Why? Because I believe I want it to happen, but I believe it's going to happen. You know what? I know it's happening. Like
mm-hmm.
if I would, and here's a quick one. I know it's happening because I want it, and I want
Yeah.
it because I know it's happening. It's already happened. I know that's kind of a play on words, and it might seem strange, but if you think about it, why would you want something if your future self didn't already have it?
Mm-hmm,
And that's a key. You only want something because there's a version of you, let's say, that already has it.
Mhm.
So why not say, okay, great, I'm happy I have it now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. I do that every morning
Yeah,
before I start
awesome.
my day. And I know that people, there's always going to be folks that go, oh my goodness, you guys are just so corny. Like that is so cheesy. But I do sit down and I write three things that I am grateful for because that as we teach our little ones, having an attitude of gratitude is so important. It is
Yes,
key. Right? So
yes,
our attitude determines our altitude. We teach
yes.
these things for a reason. Now, without getting preachy, because you guys know I don't want to get preachy with you, but as a man thinketh, so is he.
Mm,
Think on those things that are of good report. So if we do those things, then we will get those things. Because, the
yes.
bad stuff, it doesn't have a more difficult time finding us than the good things do. We tend to spend a little bit more time talking about the bad things than we do
Mm,
the good times. But if we flip that and spend more time in that positive energy instead of that negative energy, you start to really see how good we actually have it in our individual lives. Julie, Deanne, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and spending time with us here and being a part of our Rise Symposium 2026. I have so enjoyed my conversation with you today.
it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, I do want to give you a moment, if you would please. We have about a minute left. Mention the title of those books to us again. Give us your website and what is the best way to stay in contact with you for socials.
All right. The book is Which Would You Choose? My website is Julie Deanne, DANN author.com. And my Facebook is Julie Deanne. So Julie underscore DANN. And the best way to reach me is probably the website or Facebook. If you direct message me, I will definitely get back to you.
Love it. Thank you again, Julie, for being a guest today.
My pleasure and bless you. Thank you so much, Dr. Angela.
Mhm. And listeners, thank you for spending some time with us here today as well. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to spend it with us, and I thank you for doing so. I hope that we have once again enlightened, inspired, and empowered you. As always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember that you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.